We got men's bantamweights going at it here as we have Ricky Simón coming in at -145 going up against Adrian Yanez, who comes in at +125. Now, this fight was put together on somewhat short notice, and I think largely due to the fact that Ricky Simón is from the area. And he wanted to get on the card, and the UFC found him a willing opponent to throw down with him this weekend. Now, Simón is looking to bounce back from his November loss to Raoni Barcelos, a fight that he started off decent with his striking and speed advantage. But as we started to get into deeper water, it was clear that Barcelos was the sharper and more effective striker, and that really caused Simón a ton of trouble. Simón tried going in on a few takedowns, knowing he comes from a wrestling background, but Barcelos was able to shut that down and then get back to his striking success, which seemed to really demoralize Simón as we got into the third round. Simón, as a striker, is a guy that relies heavily on his power, just as we saw with what he was able to do against Javid Basharat, a knockout win that snapped a 3-fight losing streak for Simón, and then even against Smotherman. He was able to utilize his striking to get to his grappling and really just rinse and repeat that style against a guy who had a sketchy defensive grappling game in Cameron Smotherman, who also took that fight on short notice. Simón, 33 years old, strong wrestling, big power in his hands, but if he can't get to the wrestling and if he can't knock you out, things start to go a little bit haywire for him, just as we saw in the Raoni Barcelos fight. Now, going up against Adrian Yanez now, this is a guy who, the amount of hype and momentum he had through his first 5 UFC matchups. He earned a performance in the night in 4 of those wins, and then a fight of the night against Davy Grant and a split decision win. Close fight, but he came out on top. But then his momentum got halted by veteran Rob Font, who was able to piece him up in the first round and finish him. And then Jonathan Martinez kicked his legs off for about 7.5 minutes before the stoppage. Luckily, Yanez was able to avoid the 3-fight losing streak by getting that nasty knockout win over Vinicius Salvador. Unfortunately, he had no answer for the all-around game of Daniel Marcos, who had good success in the first round. Yanez picked up the steam in the second round, but then Marcos got to his grappling in the third round and was successful in terms of containing and muzzling Yanez's game. Yanez, at his best, slick striker, good combinations, good timing, good distance management, pivots off the cage pretty well. His defensive striking is usually not that bad, usually takes a good shot. I was kind of surprised that Font was able to hurt him as much as he did. The Martinez KO loss, again, that was from leg kicks more than anything. His chin seemed fine in that fight. But he's trying to recapture the momentum and the success he had when he first came into the UFC. But I think he was kind of grounded a little bit due to the losses that he's had over his last couple of fights. His takedown defense normally looks quite good. I think it takes guys like Daniel Marcos to mix up a threatening enough striking game to get the fight to the ground and kind of bridge the gap between the striking and grappling. Otherwise, he's pretty good in terms of just picking opponents apart and finding opportunities to get the knockout. Now, in this matchup, Yanez will surely be threatened in the wrestling game with Simón looking to get this fight to the ground, but I think Yanez has good enough takedown defense and at least get-ups to get back to his feet in a timely fashion and then really start piecing up Simón on the feet. Simón, I think, will struggle to get to a big shot to put Yanez away. Yanez will have a 1-inch height and a 1-inch reach advantage, so a bit of a wash there in terms of the metrics, but I still think that Yanez will showcase his striking edge here, which is why I like him as a plus 125 dog. I think so much so that he might even be able to uncork a big knockout here. So I'm going to go with Dr. Pepperman, Adrian Yanez, as he goes out there, finds a big shot, and puts Ricky Simón out.